we do see the old 600 strat again to start with.
Oh, yeah. Just open with the fireworks, you know? Put on a show for all the Americans tuning in at ungodly hours. I'd be surprised if there were too many of us. But I did want to say something that actually almost related to what was going on here. They definitely, after the way that they got smashed so hard in Nepal, I feel like the last map was also kind of like a catch your breath sort of thing because they had the strategy that they tried to make work on the moat point for Lijiang Tower. But I feel like they've kind of also reassured themselves in this series because after getting stomped so hard in the first map, considering that they tried to force the capture points, they should be going into this map probably a little more confident than they would have been if they had been playing this one to start.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent way to put it.
Nah.
I think
if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you stick 2 King of the Hill maps at the start of the series, right? It can do things to you as well. It's pretty weird to have to play that one out. It's just brawl, right? And I feel like in game types like this, individuals can shine a little bit more, especially if you're playing a sniper role or perhaps a flanking role. Everyone's flanking in King of the Hill by default, right? You're all surrounding a point. It doesn't really work.
Free cam.
Just do it. Light them up.
Oh.
Pretty.
Only Nevix took damage there as well. So.
It just makes you think of the 4th of July.
Yeah. And they all switch.
Yep.
Through on the rat.
You're happy to see that, aren't you?
My boy on the rat.
Would you grow a rat tail out?
Never.
Never?
Nuh-uh.
That's like the national hairstyle of Australia.
My hair doesn't work that way.
Huh.
It's not a good thing.
I didn't say it was.
It's not a good thing. It's just...
We're not proud of it.
Went from the mullet to the rat's tail, boys. Not much I can do about it. But anyway, so far, fairly decent defensive hold here. I mean, Ruster and Icefeld already being down pretty much already takes the sting out of the attack from Experiment here. They don't really have anyone to avoid or put a shield up, so that's a problem. But Toxican actually fights back in with 2 quick kills. He almost has, oh my lord, he almost has Deadeye ready to go, and he's looking where the Reinhardt is, and he gets knocked up, but still gets one. Soon, though, knocks him out of thin air.
Gets knocked into Soon. It's like, all right, free kills.
That's the alley-oop right there.
Yeah. It's a Hail Mary.
Oh, don't play Farah again Soon. So risky, but Evochi actually on the floor manages to pick up Soon, who maybe wasn't aware of where he actually was standing. He was so focused on trying to take that Farah down. But there's the Earth Shatter. Vanos and Evo should both go down, and Soon is res back up.
So Graviton Surgery, they're actually going to maintain this hold, it seems. Experiment need to go back to the Giant Board, but they're basically committing to what they are running soon. This could buy you another 10-15 seconds if you could just get a quick pick onto someone, but unfortunately, won't really hit that first shot, and that Reinhardt shield's going to be there to actually protect the rest of Experiment as they push back in.
He's going to have his ultimate ready as well, as there's also a barrage on Mendo as they begin to step forward. So if that opportunity presents itself, they can get a good knockdown. Maybe they can do something with it.
Yeah, it was a good Earth Shatter there. You saw Nevix drop, who's still trying to charge up his teleporter, by the way. You saw how quickly he was able to charge up when he had all those sentry turrets available, but he's not going to get to use that turret, so that pick doesn't actually work out, and Nevix has immediately switched over to Lucio. No point trying to play Symmetra anymore, and that first point does finally go over here to a team Experiment.
All right, Payload is on the roll.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Experiment need to push up. Make sure to hold them back in the foundry. This is what we've seen a lot of teams do recently. Don't even let this second area be a point of contention. Make them fight on the next checkpoint, which is right outside where they spawn. And that way you buy a lot of extra time, but they seem to have given up quite a bit of positioning. And that's due to the fact they weren't able to get any kills early on, so they'd have an advantageous fight.
Interesting to see Mendo here, obviously still sticking with that Farah despite a bit of pressure being applied by Soon. He's now gone over towards McCree, and this might just be an engagement here as well from Experiment, or maybe just trying to at least force Graviton Surge back. They had, of course, Deadeye's being channeled in the back line and the sound barrier being used for them here. Nevix cheekily just jumping across there, and Evo actually manages to pick up Skipjack yet again. He's doing some work, he's getting some damage done here. And yet, Deadeye's being channeled all over the place. I think it might have been Toxican as well, trying to get his off.
Yeah, and both reses there. Manages to pick off Soon on the left side, and flashbangs also everywhere.
Who's in charge there as well. Wants to... He's going to have to just try and get back towards his team. He's being healed up, and that's a decent Earth Shatter, but yeah, no follow-up at all. So literally a wasted ult there. It's a bit of a shame, because Zebasai was still on his feet, and you saw he burned Ruster down just after he channeled that ult, and he managed to get the Mercy. So not an ideal situation there for Experiment. They're going to have to regroup on this one.
I actually don't know, and I'd like to ask why Reinhardt's even bothered to use ultimate when there's only like 2 of them actually near where he's going to be ult team. Like, what's the point? You waste a big ultimate that you could use in the fight. What do you really accomplish?
I think you think you can actually kill 3 of them with Reinhardt, because if you knock him down, you fire strike one, you charge the other, you can generally at least get 2 kills. So we've seen situations where Reinhardt's have been able to solo hold because he's like you can choose your target right after you use that Earth Shatter. You find Zebasai, you find that McCree, you just fire strike him, you finish him off, then you charge someone else. So I guess he was hoping to make the hero play, but it was a little bit selfish of him now, and he's not going to have that ultimate up for a little while.
Going for the play of the game play is what he was doing.
No one wants to see that. No one wants to see Reinhardt play the game, man. Seen enough of that. Crew on Farah now.
These guys are locked and loaded. So Crew throws out the barrage. 2, but... Okay, yeah, but the rest of the follows and the res to back up everybody again. Yeah, they seem to get a good bit of value off it, but payload's still not moving, so they got something for it.
Yeah, with Sound Barrier going down now, Jason, they want to fight this.
As Osai's going to go down, though, as Toxin's able to secure the kill to him, not allowing the Deadeye to go through. He's looking for a third. He's going to chase after with the flashbang. There you go. And that should get the payload across the point.
Good shooting there. And still has the Deadeye available, too.
Yeah, well, he pretty much charged that up easily enough.
Yeah.
That's how you get aggressive sometimes with McCree. I was talking to IDDQD about it. He was saying that there's 2 types of McCree. One that wants to sit at medium range and just try and work that left click, and the other kind that wants to get really aggressive and up in your face. And they're good for 2 different reasons, but it's hard for someone who plays one style to play the other here. So it's good to, when we see these players go forward.
Charge it.
Yeah, I mean, Ruster should always charge that shield before that Deadeye's channeled there. Now an Earth Shatter coming down at least, and we do actually see at least Icefelt channeling his. He gets 3 with that one, so that's huge. And that's what happens. Get the Reinhardt shield down, then you can have a McCree channel that ult.
I think maybe the first one was a fake. Maybe like, all right, you ult first, where we have another one. We force them to actually group up, sit behind the shield.
Down.
Once they do that, we go in, we knock the shield down. We have the second one to follow up, but then they actually might be able to finish off this game. We're finally going to see them coming in
close.
Finally here to help out here, but Valence has gone down. That's the revive coming through that they're no longer going to have. That could have been enough to finish off the game.
Just need to push them off for a little bit. It's so close. They barely not got it in there. Crew using the barrage to clear it out, so they've managed to completely block it off, but it's still, I mean, they are just a quick shove away from getting it in.
And a revive there is so important, though, because everyone's so clumped up. You can easily get a 5-man revive, which allows your team to finish off the game. But Valence, she just got picked off, unfortunately, being in a really bad position.
Yeah, I mean, and that was all about Soon, by the way. He got 3 of those kills in the end there. So he came out straight out the gates, knew what he had to do, and now he actually has the Recon Visor available, so you can get a really good idea of the route of approach that Experiment are taking here. I mean, it's great that, you can pick people off like that, but also knowing how they're trying to advance. That one pick might be enough to slow them up, especially if Valence picks out too far. He actually reses for 1. They need a full team for this fight.
You should ideally be able to get the revive back up, though. If it's a little bit of a prolonged fight, as long as he sticks to the right targets, you're going to see him constantly healing away. He's already, what, at about 20% on it so far. Zagarto's just going to be coming through. The connection, though, there's not really much to follow it up with.
Crew wasn't there. He didn't actually have a barrage to follow any of that little fight up there as well. He could have turned it back around. Obviously, Mendo having switched that Zarya now, seeing what he can create. Toxic in there, yeah, a little bit out in the open. Crew was right behind, so you can't. It's hard to flank a team with a Farah who's always above and actually has a better field of view of the fight and can just interrupt you with a few rockets. So another hold.
Yeah, and buying themselves a little bit of space as well as the payload starts to move back a little bit. But a great play with the deny on the Deadeye because the Reinhardt didn't quite have the shield up, but they were all kind of just slamming around the point there. So holding things together, we still have 2 ultimates. They still have the res on Kratos. And the switch, looked like they had the ult ready, but switching into the Winston is Crew instead.
He's expecting a little bit of a change, and we already have seen it with Mendo actually going to be on snipers. So playing the Widowmaker, he doesn't want to get sniped out of the sky. And actually a good read, I want to say, out of this too.
Yeah, he tried Zarya for a little bit there earlier on, but it was a Graviton surge that left me very unimpressed. That sort of highlighted that fight for the attacking team. So now Zebasai managed to pick up Ruster early, and look at Ruster, he's insta-healed back up. Just the one player. That's how important it is for him to be alive for this push forward. You can't make any progress without a Reinhardt. You need that shield to block that damage, of course, otherwise you're just going to get gunned down before you even get to the payload.
This actually might be enough to finish this one off. Wow. Icefelt and Takian both picking up 3 kills in total together as their Nevix just trying to save on the point. Now we're going to see finally Skip Trap coming in, but he's eventually going to be picked off extremely quickly as he does get finally there. And Experiment will finish off, capturing and pushing the payload all the way through to the end. They needed that because now they know as long as we just hold on to this defense, we can pick up this win.
I don't know, boys. It was not super convincing for me from Experiment. They got stalled out. a lot of times at a lot of different points, primarily towards the Foundry. Mendo eventually found the formula to success there in the Widow. He managed to get that one online and get it working, especially up against Soon, who was really holding quite nicely when he switched to Widow himself. But 7 minutes 54, not bad, but King's Row is one of those maps where teams can come out and smash it in like 3-4 minutes.
There's a good bit of space now, I'd say, on the other side of things. If they've been able to get it in maybe the first time that they got it super close to the objective, then they're kind of working around something a little bit tighter. But it's pretty wide open for the switch now, I'd say.
Well, we are going to see the sides swapped in a few moments here as well, of course. That's Graviton Surge there. Obviously, with Wins is their manager or coach or caretaker or curator, whatever you want to refer to. Obviously, the brother of Kenny S. Interesting enough, very sharp-looking individual. He knows his stuff about coaching and managing. I don't know if he's a Overwatch pro necessarily, but he's definitely involved in looking after the boys there. So they've definitely got a good man on site. And of course, we'll have to see if it's going to be enough here to give them that strong attacking side they're looking for. It's still tied up at 1-1 here, guys. So Graviton Surge can get the 2-1. Jason, you said they got to pick this map. They wanted to go here to King's Row, and let's see why they chose it.
I think if they take the first point on the initial attack, I think they're going to win the game. I think it comes down to if the Experiment can hold on to the first point, build up a lot of extra time to work with, because you don't want to let Graviton Surge get that early control. We talk about, the Koth maps, you get an early ult advantage if you win the first fight. Well, it's kind of the same when it comes to payload maps. If you can win that first fight clean, you're going to have the ult advantage, which will mean ideally that Team Experiment can't really contest the Death Alleyway.
Yeah, I want to see how we play around that one as well. The first take, guys, is also pretty important. We've seen teams generally say they want to be able to hit that first point. If they feel like they're going to be able to win a game, hit that first point fast, take it on the first push. Sometimes you just have to accept that you won't, and maybe you'll use it to farm ult, so you'll farm a Mercy ult off the first push, and then get ready for a decent res. But you also need to bear in mind you're giving your opponent that same little advantage in terms of their ult percentage. So sometimes it's not always about the first push, but on this map as well, it's great to get off to a flying start, because if you can hit them, get the shock troops in there, take the first point, you can actually push that payload all the way up Death Alley to the second checkpoint in no time at all.
Seems like it's one of the more scary parts of getting tripped up trying to take that first point, because that can get muddied real quick if you get shut down once or twice.
Oh, Mendo's on the rat again, Nate. There you go.
Yep. Mendo and I were talking yesterday on the couch about how much we love the rat. I'm glad he's respecting me here.
And look, Reinhardt hates the rat as well. I mean, not only does your remote mine knock Reinhardt up, preventing him from being able to shield his team, but it does a lot of damage to his shield over time. And you lose nothing by spamming those grenades.
He's got that micro too, man. Just being so annoying. You have to checking all 6 directions, looking for him. But at the same time, pretty reasonable stall. But can he do it all on his own?
But you saw what he did, though, right? He had his shift down for such a long time that he had the cooldown back up. Yeah. So he used it to launch himself into the sky, then dropped it again onto them in the middle of the group of people to knock them away from each other, allowing them to do some extra burst damage. That was actually really well done, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be enough to net them the hold on the point.
No, I mean, everybody else kind of got knocked down at the same time, so they're able to secure this. The payload's pretty much going to come out now, and well, that kind of goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of this start then, just making sure that they can get that first point secured quickly enough that they have a lot of time to work with now on just the payload.
Very quick switch from Mendo as well, going straight away from Junkrat. He's going to be playing that Pharah. Did take a direct hit there from Crew, and that's kind of, if you're a Pharah player, that's kind of like the biggest brag thing. It's like, if you take out an enemy Pharah in midair with direct hits, you're the man, basically. So, obviously, it's hard to do, as you can use your spacebar to kind of stagger out how you descend after using all your fuel or after using your jump. So, it's really hard to hit a Pharah in midair, and it requires a lot of prediction. Obviously, Soldier players from TF2 probably find her maybe makes a little bit more sense with their predictions, but Crew doing good work here, and that's going to be a res, actually, at least to get Icefell back on his feet here for Graviton, for Experiment, sorry.
But it's really dangerous, though, because they're not going to have the full revive if you do need it. Then again, they don't have the ultimates to back it up, but they're trying to get aggressive, trying to pressure them back. They will get the one kill and back away, knowing that Graviton Surge is going to have to wait before they can attack again.
Yep, or they'd have to push him with just 5, so being able to grab Crew on the way out there was pretty big. Crew does have his barrage available, though they've got quite a few ultimates ready, pretty much all of them, except for, well, scratch that. Sound Barrier is pretty much ready, too.
Yeah, they're close. They're ready for a good fight. I mean, and that's fine because they need that here as well. They probably should have made a little bit more progress in the last maybe minute or so, but they will push straight back down the alley. So perfect stuff there as well. You saw the Reinhardt got stunned up. His shield was away, and then the barrage came down on top.
Where's Vainus at? Can you get the revive? He's coming in for it.
It's a big
That's a 4-man revive. and they have no ultimates to fight at the back of the set. Might have actually been enough. They have the Soundbar to use on top of this. This is going to be a successful hold because of that one revive alone. He got chased away, I think, by McCree on the enemy team and was able to run back around and survive.
Vainless with the plays.
Absolutely huge there. I was trying to find him on the keyboard.
It was Zebusai, actually. He chased him away, and he couldn't get the kill, which allowed Vainless to jump back in with the Guardian Angel, get the full team back alive, and they held the point. That actually could potentially win them the game because they're going to build up at least a couple of minutes off of this.
Yep.
Well played there as well. I was trying to get to it on the observer, but
About 5 minutes on the clock now. Good bit of time still to work with here as they're coming up towards the outside of the Foundry area. Gets the flash shift on Zabazai. Toxican taken out.
Oh, and not a bad time to use that Deadeye at all there as well. Reinhardt
Nice.
was essentially down. Only Icefeld going down, but does manage just to shut down that barrage there from Mendo. Unfortunately, he will fall to the Rockets as there is a travel time associated with that one, but there's the res coming in there as well. And we'll see if Kratos has done enough to keep his team up. I think he might just have done that. You can see Crew as well is already wreaking havoc in the back lines. He's always caused his payload to move quite a long way. So yes, great res coming in there earlier on from Vainless, but their very next push was a successful one for Graviton Surge.
And they are making their way now down towards that home stretch with about 4 minutes to work with. So a good bit of time to try to get this last push in. And not a crazy amount of ultimates available on either side. The barrage is ready on Crew. We have the hammer on Skipjack as well, but the reses are going to be pretty big here, which Vainless does have. And he's already gotten a pretty good one so far in this round.
Oh,
good charge.
Yeah, he was able to pick up the first kill, and the barrage should be coming in. It's not the aggressive team at a Graviton Surge. The revive's going to be forced, and Icefeld's going to come down to his Deadeye to potentially hold them back here because they cannot afford to lose out on this point. They have to hold for another 3 minutes, even over 3 minutes, if they want to be able to tie, or actually take the lead in this series.
And Rossi getting harassed there a lot as well. Toxican trying to make some use of his ult. Actually gets both Crew and Zebasai there. Forcing the res out maybe somewhat prematurely here.
Oh, no
now
shield
here comes
for
the fight.
Ruster.
Skipjack actually misses the charge in there as well. And it's going to be a sound barrier now, keeping the team a bit healthy. The Earth Smash comes down and Ruster was on his rear end, but now Skipjack going maybe a little bit too far. The payload didn't make any huge progress because Icefeld was in the back line. He was shutting down that attacking force.
Pretty good goal line stand here, I'd say, to hold off another wave and buy themselves quite a bit of time. And even in that last big fight, one of them just going straight off the edge of the map, too.
Ruster lost his shield because they were able to break it down. He didn't have any time to actually recharge it. So from that, they had a great Deadeye coming into the back. They were forced to kind of hide, and eventually some of them just ran off the side because they had to kind of switch into positions again. Graviton Surge going to be coming through. Crew doing some really good damage, putting the Genji from the backside, just charging back and forth between the team, and they're able to pick up quite a few kills. Finally, Mendo's able to respawn, and the revives to come out of Vainless to get his entire team back up, but Ruster will still go down.
And Kratos doesn't have his ultimate ready to go yet. He's close, and he'll probably have it in a couple of moments here. Will it be quick enough? He just goes in for the two-man res, and that's going to get Crew up on his feet. And he dies pretty much immediately there as well. Mendo shutting him down. He eventually will fall, but not after quite a fight. I think Skipjack had to fire strike him, but now we're on to the point. This is the stall phase, I guess, and Vainless has picked up that Diva.
3 desperation divas out of the map now, trying to just buy as much time with the Tracer as well. They've got to stall for quite a bit. 2 minutes still on the timer.
There's the Earth Shatter coming down now as well, and soon just quickly just gives it a bit of a zap to finish it off. Yeah, I mean, this is everything, right? This Graviton Surge is going to be very, very important to lock people up. It can stop them getting onto the point, can impair people's attempts to stall this game out any further, and that was a good fight. Another Diva yet again coming onto the point. She needs to be dealt with quite quickly here. It'll get there eventually, but I think there'll be enough time here for Graviton Surge to make it. 6 minutes and 11.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Kratos has ultimate.
Surely.
He has revives, so even if they do pick up these kills, there's just no chance. They have to somehow wipe Kratos. They have to kill him. I think who's actually staying. Yeah, Kratos is even here. He's just trying to stay alive in case they need the revive. And Graviton Surge will take the lead, 2-1.
Did you guys hear that yell? I reckon that came from inside there as well. So definitely.
I thought that was from in here.
I'm not sure.
That was from downstairs or something.
Wasn't sure if it was a character death scream or...
No, well, either way, Graviton Surge, bring it back. Vainless again, play the game, man, of course. This was a big res. At least now we can actually see.
So look, he gets chased, but he jukes him. He kills him! He kills him!
Humiliation.
Zebasai, that should not happen.
Oh my god, get wrecked.
That's why I gave that man MVP yesterday.
Wrecked. That's brutal. Savage.